Mame fa na se ma PENDREAM TV de o se dem yopo.
Sa anya Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na chese Kennedy akompre kwa Agyapong asen central na shebedwani na nada Kennedy akopie mu asantemantamu we showdown walk ana wasane kwa shares wadi kan ye bi won kran hadada we po yere we po mantamu ani e aburu bi pano so na mo 93 bedru Madina boboa no enada ya asantemantamu de wapani yankasa nya akwa gina simpie so ekasaye na nya asem kuma na ne nkasa yamu no asamba kwa di tu dwane se ya tetia betia no na me cha no na NPP amayoko nipa baako a wo mo ya toto na se ye alankwadwo kire maten papa no ni mu odu na so kame asa santen kai ase ade a ya sante de ano wo mu pu atwene na ya rahosem alankwa a wo kɔ no ebetimi de wo how kase ya NPP amayoko ni no doubt about that wonu de no kredi obeka wonu me ne nam chanchan ebon sem trotwa kai na hwan na wokɔ a won kɔ na enkosi agma chese you are small boys. You don't know that thing. Keep quiet and let him teach you that thing. Sa Alan kwa wonko. Na Alan mu eduo ewa mayoko nim no. Mu janu ama na kwa saa. Mu ni bi beti esi ama mayoko nim. Wase wonu me ye yesa no. Wo mu nyai. Esan se amwa mayoko no ewa baako ye mu. Abusu ansema okan no, wo ka bi ka ho a na do so pa ye nkonkotie. Se no nyamfo Kennedy akompre kwa Agyapong na dai. Odwitwa mu ewa Asante Mantemu. Yentie ne ni bi.
The Tozu Agneso PFP a free for a good one. How we live. I am confirmed and Momopoti Womo every PFP ever PUNC. Every year, the senior and the ASC Emma PFP. Any UNC equatorial votes. Now the first round in 1979, a year Yuvan party, in about 730, the Tosu in 560, UNC in 320. So we cover more. PSP any UNC, any Imam party. And my second round of the Monty, Amranti Amoha. Monty, Amranti Amoha. I will hope. As someone, Yenny 34, I got to the PFP. The Tosu is there. Say a Santini Baby, a cocoa enemy. Say a Santini Baby, a cocoa enemy. And the Tosu never saw power. I am a year of the war echo. Monsantium, the Sia Santen Cassa. A year president for Monkobisa. There were 33 constituencies in Ashanti region then, 1996, Omokotuaba. 30 constituencies in Ashanti region voted against President Kufuor. It is other regions and the two-man President Kufuor who came every year leader of the party. And then I said to them, na I will hope, may come at you, media painting what's the pain. And then, you're for 12 bucks. Asantifo say omo ade de omo mpe Allah eye busiofo some your mistake I am telling you Allah is going to pull surprise
Canada compare kwa Agyapong Facebook live na hwiaguo no be ha ba ma ba na gira simpie so no where showdown walk I nei Asante Mantemu e waye buburu ja na wowie wa mana so no asade atodwa se baku ade baku a essence ye ne se enipa bi bo lapa na lapa mo bo online eni pedifo afoforo aka no radio station makwatra so no ya Asante Mantemu titrani NPP amayoko mi kireche ma wuntumi ni radio station ho na nkrofo akwatra na wonu mo album pedifo lapa wonu mo toma ne alanchira matani ade no chese small boys are young na chama wuntumi no small boy what to the foot to the foot one tear na de na wama ho kwan man krofo akwatan radio station omo ye no e de nim guase na bebra party no na se yetufu no wanti a ukwante ade enti wonum ya sa no wamo ye very careful anya sa de amanweko nim ene de besi benyasi
Ghana here. One to Kumasi, 83 hours coming, and we're going to be patient. Room to be is just a small boy. We're a small boy. Room to be is just a small boy. And television station, and we're going to water. The church here will be there. Or power making a house. No one is allowed supporter. Take. And I'm going to compensate. I'm not going to call President Kufuor. Many problems. We support two President Kufuor, no problem. We support two Vice President, no problem. But don't insult. And you have got no more license to insult. They catch you on pain. Bawumia will collapse the NPP party. Bawumia is collapsing the NPP party. They can't tell you that Bawumia is collapsing the NPP party.
Case now critical. Bawumia is collapsing NPP party. Hey, Aprokuma Gunsani Pony Netikuma Kwadway. Numbers will be November 4 na Capo Summon Nansa. Enyan Ruhomponie. Apetampe was Yabrobo. Amayokono na sergeant Thrêatêns na paino. Yasi Vice President Dr. Bawumia will collapse NPP. Kennedy akompra kwa Agyapong. Waso sankafo ni wa na beka. So anu anyina simpie so amubom anke kanadwene. Wan anu obetimi anke kanadwene. No no won slow hwehwehwe. Wo wi no wacha sama fanya careful pa. Sɛdeɛ Bawumia ne nam a wabubu ne pakɔ no wɔyɛ careful nya sɛ obehia ne difo no no wɔ da wɔm sɛ November 4 so nim na sa ayi first one koye na mututu nkrofo ani na mu intimidate align ne wɔno ne supporters no se bi sɛsi biam dia enya mayoko ne mu bedwa mienu amayoko MPP mu bedwa tu se hu wo mu bedja mayoko na si ho sasa mayoko nya nipa ba akofo dia na wɔno kro ti hoi wo se panifo awodo afrɛfrɛ no sanko mo bribe no so one step it down monko onko November 4 no nanka onye vice presidential position and also one no vice presidential position kwatwa dia ne bodwe one na vice president fata no ho wo kwakwa pre so wa turn wo down na so wo nim mo mo be berenim discover berenim na de o kan ye futu ode ma no ba ntie dia ene showdown
Come on. Nigga make a free. Until I make that yourself. A good party, no. And he said, of course, region here was low. Make the region way, I shall regional executive defense. Of course, constituency. Make the constituency like a constituency executive defense. They have not been any presidential race. And now, Fort Barashifa. One particular candidate, all chief executives supporting him, all regional chairmen supporting him, and some chairmen of constituencies. Yadi a wash of maybe 1 man town. I am telling them they should repeat that mistake again, and they will see what will happen in the back. Ethiopia, the budget party that you are. Your vote is your power. One more year who said, one more year to country, to tell you your men now. And we are the best. And we are the same. Or back and very much. Make up and down. One more deal and a pen. Eya kakabinzem nazo mpemfo na o ma che wo party ni mo enim se alla na wo free party ni mo asembesi so we dira hana yo delegate obia di sika brawa ki embo nkotuma kene Japan e ti se kene Japan na kwa mama mamu mesike di mani It is a certificate in the demon anymore. And Commission I've been offered big office, including money to step down from our meeting. Any amount who don't keep me keeping your back. Any Madonna who don't keep me your back. What is that? What is that? Who power here? Or be ever cut the any country I will say. I didn't win and pay money. Who's talking about you are changing everything with language? He said, Agyapong, Mama makes get money. It is a certificate in the demon anymore. And Commission I've been offered big office, including money to step down from our meeting. To see what will happen in the past. I'm not going to be afraid of anybody. We are not scared of anybody in the past. Justice is for all. Justice is not for an individual. Never will you about I raised his hand in that of it.
Just later, somewhere next year, I came out. I remember I was interviewed by Metro, by this lady, Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget.
And also TV3, by somebody that I can't remember whether it's Walker. And I told them point blank that Alan will definitely go independent. And they should watch. People thought I was joking. So, I mean, what has happened, I'm not surprised at all. He's leaving the party too, I'm not surprised. Now, if you carefully listen to the reasons that led to his quitting the party, these are issues that I myself have talked about before. And to accuse those in charge of elections of not being transparent is a serious matter. So I'm not surprised at all that Alan has left the party, number one. And I'm equally not surprised at all that he has decided to go independent.
But
so this is my position. Yeah.
Yes, do you think Alan's decision is the best?
No, he came out with a lot of reasons. But, you know, I have once again, it's on record, I have said that Alan should have resigned long ago from the government, especially where we had infractions, or unless maybe he was involved himself. Maybe I doubt, because I respect him a lot. Infractions and all sort of dubious acts being done by members of the government. And I said he should have resigned. I said it long before he left. I said he should have resigned. And then when he does that, he comes out to part his own political future. This is the way I put it. So now the question is whether he will succeed or not in independent candidature. That one is that's another big question.
But then, Doc, let's juxtapose Mr. Alan Thrêatêns' decision with your situation. I know you are still NPP member.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, good. You have raised issues. The issues raised by Alan are the same issues you have been raising, you have been talking about. But yes, so you are in the party. You have not resigned. Why? And why do you support Alan to resign?
So why do I do what?
Support Alan to resign, but you yourself, you have not resigned.
No, I'm not supporting Alan to resign. No. Look, I predicted that looking at the situation, particularly after their first round, definitely he will resign. That's what I said. I predicted. I have not in any way at all supported.
And you have linked it to the issues he has raised as the reason why he left. Those issues you have raised same, but you are still in the NPP. But my question is, why are you still in the NPP?
You see, you don't join political parties for material benefits. At least not me. Because when Kufuor came to power first, if you realize, he took a whole 4 years before I was placed somewhere. You follow me? Before I was placed somewhere, I didn't complain. I didn't say anything. Indeed, I was offered earlier on the position of GFA chairman, and I turned it down completely. I told Kujo Bawo Ejo, you should forget about it. Until I was talked to by the then National Security Advisor, who is a good friend of mine, a very intelligent man. And I took that position. Even there, based on principle, I resigned. It was wise. I was in my private practice. After my resignation from that position as president of the FA, they called me again and gave me a position of an ambassador. So you see, politics, I see politics as serving the people. This is the way I look at it. Serving the people. I don't join politics because of what I will get out of it. And that is the problem we have in this country.
Now, Doc, do you think Alan leaving NPP will have a negative impact on NPP?
So absolutely. It will affect the party. Also, that one is crystal clear. But the only thing is that, to what extent? Even if it's 5%, it has affected the party. But to what extent? Now, he going independent will also annoy a lot of people, both in the NPP and even those in other political parties he was appealing to. You see, the question is, in politics, you must be consistent. And when you are consistent, you know exactly what fight you have on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
But in Ghana here, we see politics as a money-making industry. When you look at this young man, the NPP at the moment, having mansions, owning properties. And I must say, there's amongst the things Alan said he would do, what he would probably have, if he had mentioned, and I would have been happy and even back him with words of congratulations, that if he came in, he would have made sure those who have stolen money out of this country, the monies are brought back. He didn't put that in among the tall list of issues that he spoke about.
I see.
Because that is a fair state. Any leader who will come on and fail to get our monies back will be my number one enemy. Because that is exactly why we are all suffering today. Monies have been siphoned out of this country in billions, if not trillions. And that is why we are suffering. And this is even known to the IMF. I don't know what is wrong that people find it difficult to speak their mind. If people will speak their mind, all these things will not happen. So Alan's leaving the party today is quite a clear indication that he himself has not at all in any way been consistent with his own policies. This is the way I look at it.
Doc, will you agree to this assertion that now the MPP is gone, teared into pieces, and there is nothing like MPP? Will you agree to that assertion?
As a political party, and I've said that also some few months ago, that the way we are going, and that was during this very election, if we are not careful, we shall be revisiting 1779, and that is going to happen. That the party will be totally destroyed, and you will have factions, and it's the same thing that has started today with the resignation of Alan. The party definitely, if we are not careful, will be totally dismantled into pieces.
Somebody just sent me.
The fact we see ourselves. But definitely there will be people who will follow him. There will be people who might probably opt for Bawumia. And one thing is quite clear. Bawumia is not the known NPP man. These are some other issues. You follow me?
Yes.
Now, Alan has been in the party with us. He started with us. I really remember, just as he put it himself, when it was they were young people, they formed what they called something forum. I've forgotten. It's an executive forum. That's right. And they work well. They work very well. They supported the main party, and he has been promised on several occasions, which he said almost all of what he said were true. He has stepped down for Akufo-Addo to be president. Otherwise, it would have been easy for Akufo-Addo to lead the party. And of course, it was promised. And all these things have been, all these things were not fulfilled. He's human. So, the way he has behaved, I'm not surprised at all.
Now, Doc, somebody just sent me a message in a question form that I should ask you whether you accept any invitation from Alan Kyerematen to join him.
If I do what?
If you accept an invitation from Alan to join him.
Oh, no, I have not accepted any invitation from him. No, not at all.
Why?
No, at all. Yeah, well, most of them, you see, some of us don't know even what is happening in that party now. Because I'm supposed to be a suspended member of the party. And when I speak, they call the various stations to tell them that I know. They even wrote a letter. I remember. I think a letter was written to TV3 and Metro that I should not be allowed to talk about the party. But I'm expressing my own views on issues. You follow me?
Yes.
And that also is a sign of the leadership of the party at the moment. The party has no good leaders now. I can tell you. I can say that. Our party, to me, is without a good leader at the moment. And as Alan put it, there are people behind the scene who have been sort of maneuvering and all sort of machinations. And you can't be in a political party with this sort of attitude. It's not nice. So we have a problem. The party has a problem. And if we are not careful, the party itself, as a national party, will not be in some few months to come.
Anyway, Doc, thank you so much for speaking to Accra FM.
Oh, you are welcome.
Sure. Joined on the phone by a leading founder or one of the key founders of the new Patriotic Party, and Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo is also a regular on the channel. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, did you see this coming? Did you see the warning signs on the wall?
Yes, I did. And
that's your question.
Firstly, I would say it is very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate for this to have happened to the party at this time. I believe strongly the problems the party is facing at the moment, one is from the formation of the so-called militia from the beginning. This particular group totally destroyed the democratic pillars of our party. In fact, initially we thought it was working in our favor. We have seen from different countries what Malaysia did. The example of Adolf Hitler is there. The example of Mussolini is there, and many others. They can work for a time and then destroy the very party that brought them into existence. Because they come with nothing than intimidation, indiscipline, being defensive on almost any issue. And it's spreads like that. But the sad thing is that Alan, to me, has been stabbed in the back by the NPP. And that is very sad. Because when I look at those who want to be president of the country at the moment, he's the only one who stands tall among them. He's the only one I can say have got democratic credentials. He's the only one I believe strongly. A lot of people, if he intends running as an independent candidate, would definitely like to try him. Now, why do I say the party has been destroyed? We have a lot of new faces in the party who daily come on the airwaves to defend the indefensible. It is very disheartening. This party has always got a succession plan. Let me go through that briefly. And that brings the point about Alan being stabbed in the back. And it is unfortunate that is being done by my friend Nana Akufo-Addo. Now, when we came out of the wilderness during the era of Jerry John Rawlings, one thing was quite clear, that we have to get somebody who was that popular at that time, so that we can have a strong political front against Rawlings' party. Now, those of you who have gone a bit back into history will remember that we went into the 1978-79 elections as a divided front. We had the UNC, we had the PFP. UNC led by Mr. William Uforiata, that's the old man. Don't Jones Uforiata. People have been confusing the two things. Jones is very, very junior to William. Then the Popular Front Party being led by Mr. Victor Owusu. Now, these two parties had a similar problem. So the so-called Buzia front that was left was fragmented. And then we came out with these two parties. Now, during the election, it was quite clear. They gave way, and late President Liman had it very easy. Now, after that, then we got ourselves together. Edubuahin was so strong in presenting to the nation at that time, because that was an era where you can hardly talk. I was then in prison, myself, Kwame Pienim. I remember very well. Kwame came out, he reorganized, and within a short time, the pillars were put together, and everybody was for Edubuahin because of his outspoken attack on the Rawlings party at that time. We went into a general, internal elections like we are doing now. Edu won hands down. But one young man then, who was J.A. Kufuor, did very well. Now, the second time when we were going in for an election again, some of us decided that Edu cannot carry the party through, so we should try Kufuor. Kufuor was really tried. He won, but he was defeated by J.J. Rawlings. Then the second time for Kufuor, he won hands down. Now, when Kufuor won hands down, we also the need to come together again strongly, together with other opposition groupings. We shouldn't forget that. And that gave us power after almost 32 years in the wilderness. So I would say that Alan leaving the party at this time, Alan leaving the what do you call it, the group at this time has weakened the democratic pillars of the party. And if we are not careful, the party will be totally destroyed, and we shall find ourselves back in 1978, 1979. So this is what I would say so far. I can't hear you, please.
If you speak to some key individuals in the Ashanti region, for example, they lay the blame rightly on the doorstep of the president. And they believe when he undertook or supported the effort to get the chairman, Paul Afoko, the general secretary, Mr. Kwabene Agyapong, out of office, that precipitated or started all this. What do you think?
I think I have been saying this all along, that one of the reasons why I broke a relationship with the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, was as a result of that behavior. Well, to me, that was a test of his democratic credentials at that time.
Mm-hmm.
If you have had an election, it's elected. These people were elected, not appointed. If you have had election. Now, before the elections, various moves were made to disqualify Afoko. I don't know Afoko from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard of him. Then I kept asking myself, who is this young man who is so strong? Then I got the information about the role his father played in our party. And I said, okay. Now, finally, Afoko won. Initially, the same problems also went to Kwabena Agyapong and Samikra. When we had elections in Tamale, these three people won hands down.
Mm.
And that was where the problem started, really. Immediately, Akufo-Addo and his group were able to put together a machine that destroyed these three young gentlemen. And that particular machine was what I think the so-called formation of a militia. To the extent that they were not even allowed into their offices. I mean, when you talk of your party being a democratic party, and then you start to scratch a step, where are you taking the party? To me, what is happening now doesn't surprise me at all.
You mean not at all?
I didn't get you. I said, it doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
At all. but the only thing I'll say is that Alan should have moved, and he should have known this thing. You see, when he respectfully stepped down for Akufo-Addo, and I was among those who believed strongly in the succession plan of NPP, that seniority should count. And because of that, I back Akufo-Addo strongly. Indeed, it became a problem between myself and Akufo. Even though I was among those who supported Akufo to be elected first. Myself, Dr. Yanis Selby, Mandapa, who is our defense minister, those who made the choice that I'm not a founding member of the party, they should go and ask those people. Mr. Kreku of the Western region, Honorable KG Osebonzo, luckily most of these people are alive. It was in my house at Cantonment that we decided that Akufo should be the next in line after Edobo, and it happened. There were no sort of, what do you call it, you don't have people talking about money, highest bidder, and all this sort of nonsense. It's the popularity of that individual. And Akufo was popular at that time, very, very popular. And as I've been saying time and again, Akufo has always been a listener. If you are leading any political party and you don't listen to the people, you will definitely be destroyed. And that is what is happening now. Our party has been totally destroyed. Totally. So I think we have to, get ourselves together and see how that party can come to the fore again. Alan Thrêatêns, I don't know his plans now, but maybe he might be the next person who can get this party off the rambles.
Now, when you speak to the young leaders or the current generation, whether my generation or just those a little younger who hold executive positions and are in various leadership positions across the country for the party, they seem to resonate with the president and his assigns and perhaps the way he has led the party. Would you say...
It seems to resonate with what?
With the way the president has led the party up to now. And don't you think perhaps that's also a tacit support of what they like in terms of these young people who are in leadership positions of the party? Perhaps also it's just a generational gap. The party has moved on, don't you think?
As I said earlier, the party has not been like that. It is the formation of the so-called militia which brought in intimidation, even attacking of judges when they were working, chasing of national security officers out of their offices. You see, these are issues that you Ghanaians, including yourself, who is talking to me now,
yes, please.
You fail to see the dangers involved in this thing.
Well, we said it, but nobody listened.
But you don't say it. You have to trumpet it. You don't trumpet it. You don't trumpet it. These are human beings. If they are wrong, someone should be bold to tell them. Akufo-Addo is not a superhuman being. He's a human being. Very few people can stand and say, when Akufo-Addo was in opposition, they back him more than I did. The history is there. But when I realized he could lead this country into a sort of jeopardy, I want Ghanaians not to vote him into power. At any risk at all, I want Ghanaians. And now you are saying what is happening. As for our party, if we are not careful, it is leading itself straight into destruction. So if Alan Thrêatêns has now noticed the dangers as he enumerated in his statement, then others who want the NPP to stand as a political party should get behind him and lift the party up. Some of us, we've done our bit. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. Now, if you have a last piece of advice in terms of how the party needs to pick up the pieces, and especially for Alan Tremantin, what would it be? Just in a minute.
Look, those left there, I don't even know them. I think say Akoto is somebody I've met, but I really don't know him very well. We have Akoto there, Adainimo, and the gentleman Agyapong. Now, to me, two of them step actively, not only in the party, but in Akufo-Addo's government. And they are definitely they won't be suitable in the coming general election. Alan could have been, but Alan should have even resigned early. I told him.
You told him?
He heard about it. That if he had left earlier, because he was a cabinet minister and he knew about the infractions going on, all sort of things being done. If I were Alan, I would have resigned on principle, and things would have been easier for him today. But he has got the style of my friend J. Kufuor. You go about it gently. Kufuor was also very smart, and he was able to maneuver his way to get to where he got to. But if Alan has stepped down now from the race, I think his intention is, unless he doesn't want to be leader of this country again, he should go and test his popularity.
How?
By standing as an independent candidate.
He should go and stand as an independent candidate, Alan Tremantin.
I say he should do that to test his popularity, national popularity. He should stand as an independent candidate, and he will see. Through that, he will see.
We are told
because a lot of money has been wasted through this election. We know it. When they come to defend, I laugh. Monies have been spent, huge amounts of money. Huge. I mean, it's such a disgrace. So it's the highest bidder who wins an election in this country now. When an individual can be bought for 500,000 cedis, nobody should come and ask me, where did I hear that from? It is a fact. So the highest bidder wins an election in this country, and that is the end of the country, because he has to get the money and send it back to where he picked it from. And that is one sad thing that has been happening to this poor nation all the time. If you watch carefully, during an election time, our economy is always sinking, or after election. It does well, and then after a while, it sinks. It tells you straight that monies are moved in droves to go and bribe people. And that is exactly what is going on now. None of them can tell me that he's not using money to bribe, particularly so-called, what do you call it, leaders of the various groupings at the moment. They are all using huge amounts of money.
Okay.
Money that can be used to develop this country.
Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, we are told that it is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia who is popular. What do you say?
Look, Bawumia, at times I feel very sorry for him.
How?
Very, very sorry. Because he's a nice gentleman. And he shouldn't have allowed himself to be used the way he's being used. I mean, it's very unfortunate. His father was a gentleman too. His father was the first person in the history of this country to cross carpet in parliament. You follow me? He knows how to maneuver in politics. He almost served in all governments in this country. From NPP, that's Northern People's Party, to CPP, from CPP to General Cross government, and he continued even to Jerry John Rawlings. He ended up as I think the president of the council of chairman of the council of advisors or whatever you call it. That is where he ended. He's been a diplomat, everything. He knows how to maneuver, but his son doesn't know how to maneuver. You follow me? His son is being used at the moment. And all I'll say is that he's a young man I like very much. He has been coming to me because Akufo-Addo gave him to me to show him the ropes of the party when he got in newly. When he got in newly, I was an ambassador, so I wasn't around. But the second time he was going to run, Akufo-Addo called me personally. I don't hide things. Why should I hide it? Because we have young people who must study from this thing. And say, Nyahu, get Bawumia no. And he knows I can do that. And then I did that. Myself and Aliu Mahama. We took him up north. He's there. You can go and ask him, Bawumia.
I see.
I feel so sorry for him. Because if he had been able to be strong to say no on principle, he would have gone very, very high in politics. But the way he's going now, I don't think his future in politics is something that one has to talk about.
Food for thought. Thank you very much. Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo is one of the individuals who appended their signature to the foundation document to give birth to the new Patriotic Party.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.